Welcome. I'm Bill Wake. We're here working on a calculator to support Kilt makers, and we're almost to the end, or at least almost ready to do a beta test with some outside users. And we've got a few more things to do on the aprons and pleats, so we'll get going on those today. All right, so we left off, the apron pleat split. Let's see, we have that here. We just changed the name. We changed the value to be the negation of what it was, and we changed the name to be give apron instead of give pleat. Okay, so we're giving some extra space to the apron, and the reason we did this was the negation was needed to make the slider go the right way, so it put less slider on the left when the left was smaller and not vice versa. So all right, so what I want to do is reverse the sign on this thing. So, and then we'll fix the name. So right now I've got pleatSteals equals minus amount. Okay, well, let's take the negation off. Okay, so we made the callers negate what they gave us. And now I'm going to take this off. And instead of adding pleatSteals, I got to subtract it. So minus minus is a plus. Plus goes to a minus. And I think that should be invisible from the outside. The name is wrong, but the thing should work. So let's make sure that's true. All right, good. Okay, so now instead of pleatSteals, it really is apronSteals. Okay, so the apron adds the amount. So let's fix the name. apronSteals. Well, maybe steals is a little strong. Let's say apron takes. Apron extra. Okay, so now apron, you're taking the equal split plus some extra for the apron. And the pleat then gets the opposite, the equal split minus the extra we gave the apron. I think that reads well enough. Gains, yeah, let's try that. I like that. Gains. Okay, so apron is equal split plus the apron gains, and pleat is minus them. Okay, yeah. I guess we could have taken the extra 2 minutes yesterday and done this then, but all right. So make the apron pleat split work by giving more to the apron rather than more to the pleat. I guess I hope that'll... I don't often look back at these, so I'm not sure it really makes a big difference, but hopefully that'll be clear enough. Oh, and I haven't even looked at my to-do. Let's see. Refactor ApronPleatSplit. All right, well, we'll take that. And let's say what that was. Make it give to apron instead of subtracting. Well, let's how about flip signs so we work with apronGains rather than pleatSteals. Okay. That should do it. All right. Next thing. All right, let's run it. So here, if I want 3.5 inches, I can type it because I have a keyboard sitting here. Okay. Well, 3.1/2 tab. Okay, it doesn't know what to do with that. And I'm surprised by what it has. Okay, but what we really want is 3.1/2 to be 3.5. Or we can enter 3.5. Okay. But yeah, so accept fractions on measurements. So this field needs to be like the fields over here. Okay, 40.5 is 4/8. Okay. It's a little weird because we keep bouncing around between halves and maybe quarters and everything in eighths. But, you know, when they start doing this, they really do kind of spend everything in eighths. So, I don't know. I'm going to have to learn the subtleties of that, I guess, because it's not clear to me. But I guess, you know, if you're going to work in inches, you're going to have to get used to the fact that sometimes you talk in eighths and sometimes 4/8 is a half, and you have to be aware of that sort of thing. All right. So this field anyway knows that it needs to convert this into a proper fraction, you know, with eighths or whatever. Now it's kind of all right. Let's go back. All right, let's find those. Well, is that Pleat's view? No. Pleat view. Okay, Pleat view has the tartan section. You know, that's that list view. That's not bad. I don't know if I'm quite ready to adopt it on the other side, but okay. Tartan view. Let's take the pleats. Pleat count view. Well, I think this one works the same way. Yeah. Okay, so tartan view will have it. All right. So we have to deal with this guy. And then we have our validating text field. Boy. Value comes from there. The validator. Well, we don't need the validating per se, right? We're not enforcing rules about negative or that stuff. Okay, we really do. This is more complicated than I want. Well, here it is, a big fancy text field with all this stuff. Okay, well, maybe validating text field isn't the worst thing to be. We have to know the focus state. Okay. Let's see, back to Pleat view. Oh, tartan view. All right, so we need a binding for that because we passed that along. We need to know the focus. Well, that's a little too generic. Or, I'm sorry, not generic enough. Okay. Let's see. So, what do we have? We have measurement table. Okay. And That deals with the text field. Okay, so I guess I want to put one of these things in. Where's my validating? But I have to have more stuff than I have right now. And I don't know, this text field, we don't really label it the same way here. There's no field label, so maybe this thing is just not quite the right fit. The label, what does it do with it? Right, he puts that there. Well, we might be able to get by with that. All right, let's try it. Okay, so I'm going to have these two things. And I'm going to have to do some modifications too. All right, and this is only applies to measurement table. So let's go in there. Now binding, sorry, I'm going to have to go back. Binding to slash is pressed. Binding to slash is pressed. So where's this thing getting it? Turn view. Okay. All right, so that well, I think we can the focus is so when we hit the slash button, let's see if I can make this come up. Well, okay. So when I press the slash key, it needs to know where to send that slash. So yeah. The thing I'm less clear on is like this is on a separate window. Okay, but validating text field, I don't know. I think some of this is extra we don't need because we don't really have any validations we're going to do. I mean, I suppose you could say, hey, you can't be 200 inches in the waist, you know. You don't look good in a kilt at that point. So I guess let's put, again, I got to go back to Pleat view. Is got the originals of these. Okay. I think for us, apron Pleat view, sorry, measurement table is going to contain the top level of these because that's the only entity we're editing. Okay, so we won't need this. Pleat view focus. Well, let me comment it for a moment. Okay, so we'll start with that. Oh, it's just not going to look right, is it? Oh no, I can do it for each one of those. Okay, I think we'll be okay. So waist, here's the text field. All right, so what I'm proposing to put in then is a validating text field. The label is waist. The value is this. The validator, I think think. Do I default that? No. Okay. Too many files open. All right. Whoops. Binding a double to binding a value. Oh, this is going to get messy, isn't it? Okay. Well, this will teach us, I guess. I need a function from a value to a string. Oops. Okay, I'm just going to return a little do nothing function kind of thing. And then the slash is pressed is got to be binding to the slash is pressed. And I think is it $slash? Okay. So other than this thing being the wrong type, it kind of works. Okay. So, oh man. All right. So let's comment this. And now I want to make sure there's an actual waist that is of type value. So we want value because it's the thing we have that knows how to handle fractions the way we want. Okay, so let's go to measures, Kilt measures, and let's work on these. Okay, so let's rename, I'm going to do this a little bit at a time, I think. So actual waist, and we're editing ideal waist. No, we're measuring actual waist. Okay. Right, actual waist. Okay, well that's the thing we can't change. All right. Let's rename this. I'm going to rename it actual waist double, and our goal is to get rid of it. But we can't do that right away. Now values. This is making me suspect that relying on value is kind of overkill for the situation we have. And it kind of is on the other one too, right? Because we implicitly make it inches. We don't require you to enter inches. But I'm going to save that for another day. So let me add it to my to-do, my endless to-do. Whoops. Cancel. Okay, actual waist double, return. Okay. And then to-do. Oops. All right. We may change this back at some point, because I think the situations we have where you're entering, you don't really need value for that, because I mean, we do it, we can check our consistency by doing it, but we're not treating it that way for entry. We calculate in terms of values, but I don't know. We'll have to, that's a bigger thing than we're going to deal with today, for sure. All right. What are all my errors? Has no member actual waist double. Well, I think you're just out of date. Yep. Okay. So Kilt measures. All right. So now everybody should be fine with this. Okay, and then let's add a field. Public var actual waste is a value question mark. And if actual waste double is nil, return nil. And otherwise return value. Well, let's go find value. Oh yeah, value dot, I guess inches we'll say. We may change that. Value dot inches with actual waste double. Okay, so it's force it because we just checked it. Well, that tells me I can do. Yeah, that's okay. We'll deal with it later. Okay, so now I have this field. I think I can go back in apron measurement table and uncomment this. And I think this should compile. Yeah, what do I know? Cannot assign to property. Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, let me fix the formatting thing just to get that out of the way. Okay. All right, so actual waste is going to have to be a published field. Because if we want to bind to it, we've got to. Okay. Published public var actual waste of value. And now let's give it a get. I don't know if I can do this with property wrappers. I can do did set. I can do did. Well, get. I don't know if I'm keeping this. Okay. Are you changing it? Is the question. Okay, let's push this up. Okay, that's what we're trying to end up with. If somebody sets the actual waste double, well, which one's going to be in charge? That's the question. The tests use actual waste double. I think we're going to pretend we just set that value and not use it momentarily. Okay, and rather than try and sync them, I'm going to try and switch it quicker. All right, now I think this. Okay, that should be okay there. Nobody except the one place is using actual waste. Oh. Whoa, how did that miss? Give apron. That looks like it. Oh, there it goes. Okay. Yeah, back here, it's going to mess up this table. Okay. Right. That's not terrible. I mean, the formatting is really ugly, but if you put something in, 3, 4, I think this could work. Okay, doesn't tab, it'll add that value. I can't hit tab. Right, it doesn't show up until it's here because this is ideal waste. Yeah, that's coming from the actual. All right. I don't know if we can. Okay, can I split these? Who uses this? Who sets this? That's the real question. Okay, let's try and take this one and flip it, and then we'll get rid of it. Okay, so I'm going to make it a derived property. Actual waste double. And the get is actual waste dot as double. Okay, if it's there, use as double, else return nil. Okay, and then the set, okay, actual waste equals value.inches of actual waste, and we're going to assign it to self.actualWaste. Okay. I don't know if this works like that. Let's see if he... Okay. No, can't do that. Okay. Okay, if actual waste is nil, we'll make that nil. Otherwise, we'll assign it as actual waste. Plus computed read-only properties. Well, I want a set too. Or do I? Okay, let's try it this way. Okay, so at this point, well, that's old. Okay. If you try to write to actual waste double, it's a problem. So we want anybody to actually write to actual waste. If you try and read from it, we still let you. Okay, so this is going to break some tests. Okay. Well, that's not right, is it? Actual waste double. Yeah, this text field can't be operating anymore. Okay. Because we're using this one. Okay. And actual waste double is no longer a property. It's a computed value. All right, so that should cover the mainline ones. But the tests, there's probably some tests still doing that. I don't know. We may have, because it's just being read in as a field, there may not be any tests for that specifically. It's just a field with contents. Anything other than the input field? Yeah, I don't think anything does in the application per se. All right, that built. One slight error. Really? Okay, here we go. Actual waste double. Well, how are we computing ideal waste? Let's check that. Ideal waste. Is it actual waste double? Which goes back to as double. Okay, so that should be okay. This is not, though. We need to make this. I think that should fix that one. Actual waste double equals $0. Okay, actual waste equals. These are all assigning inches values. Okay, it's parameterized. Actual waste double. Okay, and this will come back and see if that test makes any sense or not. Okay. All right, now, if I've done this right, everybody should still be happy. Good. Okay. Add actual waste as a value. Actual waste double still exists as a double. Okay, but I think we've tipped over the risky side of this. Let's see. Where did you get actual waste that you assigned to actual waste? Yeah. Self.actual waste. Yeah, so it's the argument that comes in when you create the Kilt measure object. Okay. So redundant nil coalescing. Is this really the same? I'm clearly not is up on this operator as I thought. Okay, yeah, so that appears to be okay. Interesting. Okay. All right, and now let's see. Let's check the lookout. Okay, so we don't really need that anymore. The structure's a little off, maybe. We may not require the value. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, but maybe we do. I mean, that's kind of the point of these question marks, right? Okay. All right, so back to measurement table. So this is gone. Okay, now ideal waste. Well, who's calling this? Let's see the usages. I mean, I don't think it's a lot. One test. I think this test should really assert on actual waste. Okay, because we're not gonna look at those anymore. Actual waste double. Okay, it's used in ideal hips. Okay. Well, he's fine for local use, so let's make it file private. I mean, we can get rid of it at some point, I think. The question I have is, should this be a double? I don't know. actual waist. Let's focus on this. Okay, so that should be the same if it's nil. All right. Actual waist double here. Well, I'm kind of willing to substitute this. Okay, actual waist double. Again, I can substitute. Now we know it's valid as double. Okay, actual hip. Okay. All right, and now nobody's using this. The question is, before we go too far, I guess, does it make sense to let Apron Pleat work with inches? I think it does. It doesn't really matter. Let's see, sorry. Do you need the label for actual waist validated input? Well, I'm thinking I can just use it and drop that first column. Okay, so it's slightly ugly, but let's take that out. Okay, let me clean up a little bit. Pleat view. No, we don't need this one anymore. Pleat view. Okay. Apron Pleat view. Okay, so it has a measurement table. Let's go back there. Okay, I'm thinking we don't need this. It's going to look a little funny for a minute. Yeah, that's a little funny. Well, my actual ideal then. See, I'm kind of getting rid of that. I don't know how that'll look. Can I view this in here? That actually looks okay. And as I enter it, okay, I can take that. Right. So, yeah, I think this will work out. All right, let's kind of, I think we can fairly quickly modify the other ones. Okay, so here's actual hips. We'll just take a copy of this again. Well, no, let's do the work first. So actual hips, we're going to have to do the same thing we did for actual waist. All right, so let's make this actual hips double. Oops. All right, and actual hips can be a value. Self that actual hips equals actual hips is nil, then nil. Sorry, can it be empty? Yeah, it can be empty because when you haven't entered any text, it's undefined. If it's nil, then nil, else value dot inches of actual hips, the field, the variable parameter. Okay. Actual hips, Okay, and then actual hips. Well, let's find it. If actual waist and actual hips double, this is really actual hips as double. And this is the same thing. And it will clean up a little after we get there. Okay, actual hips double. This can just be actual hips. Okay. There may be some tests that we're looking at the wrong field, or, well, now wrong. Yeah. Okay. Right. Actual hips. Okay, so it needs to set value dot inches. Oops. Still some cleanup. All right. Actual hips. Well, I guess there's nothing else to it. Okay. And then, is anybody referencing this? Text field. Okay. Yeah, now we can put our other validating text field in. This is hips. Actual hips. Let me just see these. Oh, it does have the rounded. Okay, so I don't have to worry about that part either. Okay, and then this goes away. And nobody else is referencing it. So we should have two fields with the warnings on them. Okay. I almost want to suppress these instead of the question mark. All right, but oh, yeah, I'm going to trust 44. Okay, notice we don't have our slash yet. Okay, a weird shaped person, but okay. But that all, yeah, hips get made up equal to the waist. Okay, let's do the last one. Actual length. Okay, I'm going to change it in place because I think we're so good at this now. All right, actual length is nil, and nil else value dot inches of actual hips. The nil is annoying, isn't it? Okay, and then somebody should complain. There we go. Actual length. Actual length dot I double. Okay, I think that should be good. Maybe a reference. Yeah. Actual length equals value dot inches. 25. Measurement table. Failed to produce diagnostic. Okay. I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do with that. Failed to produce diagnostic. Well, it fails when it can't find matching stuff and things like that. Validating measures.actual length. Oh, right, we haven't done our validating. Well, put it in and then work it out. Okay, measures.actual length. Validator, okay. All right. Oh, good call. Did I do it? God. I didn't even copy paste it. I just typed it, I think. All right, now I don't know if there's a better way to do this. Inches is directly an enum type, so we can't let it ask for a nil. Okay. Now, I think, let's go to value. Do we have a grader? I don't see it. Okay, so I think what I'm seeing is this. So is feature envy, basically. I'm taking an actual waist, comparing its insides to an actual hips. And that sounds like something that this could do. And actually, wait, it's doing, this is really a max, isn't it? If waist is greater than hips, return waist, else return hips. Okay, I think we might have a max on there. Round abs. Well, I don't think I saw it. Let's look for it. Max. Okay, well, we can certainly do that. Value follows negate plus times. Extension value. Well, I think I could. What does max do? I think. Well, I don't remember how max works. Max. Oh, it just needs comparable. Is value comparable? Well, it's hard to say what a comparable value would be, isn't it? Like, is the number 3 greater than inches 1? Yeah, maybe. And what's an error? But I don't, well, I can at least, right? I can at least do this. Max of actual waist dot double and actual hip dot double. Well, we can't really put methods on the case, though, can we? I mean, comparable, I think we just have to give it a greater than operator. Maybe it's got to have equals and have a greater than. And maybe I can just get by because I have that as double and I'm just using that as anyway. It just treats it as 0 and it compares the value. Why aren't you complaining? That's not the complaint I expected. Okay. All right, make sure this passes. I might move that up to here. Okay, so according to that, I should be able to say, well, how would that work? Is that? Okay. Connection try put double. Oh, what's? I almost feel like our comparable is not. Let's see what we gotta do. I think it's saying I gotta implement this one. Oh, conform to comparable. Okay. Implement less than and equal. Okay. So. Return spool. I'm going to return LHS.as double is less than RHS.as double. Double. Okay, make max operator work. Yeah, I like the result. Okay. The question in my mind is, should these become values as well? And then the other stuff just kind of disappears. Okay. Right. So let's run it. And I think, yeah, I would like to just leave off the question marks. I'm also questioning if this is better off as a grid or if it really should just be a form. Let's let's take care of that empty case first. Okay, so I think we're done with Kilt measures for the moment. Oh, we have a functionality issue first, so I don't have a slash here, so we got to do the thing to make that happen. Okay, so Pleat view focus is not really right. I think let's rename this. This is view focus something, or just any view focus. View focus, I don't know, marker, view focus, case. Focused field. Can you create a protocol from an enum? I don't really know. No, I guess maybe are you asking, can an enum conform to a protocol? Well, because I don't know that answer either, I guess. But I think that would be what makes sense to ask. Let's go back to Kilt. Was it Kilt measure? Can I make any? Oh, it's one value. Well, yes, I can, right? Because I did that here. Can you create a protocol? So, I mean, I could define a protocol that's, all those plus minus negates and stuff like that. So I think the answer is yes. I'm not sure where you wanted to use it, but let's see, focused field. Why can't you find that? That seems wrong. Yeah, it is wrong. Okay. And this thing, well, yeah, we really are kind of messed up here. This is the Pleat. Well, I'm going to add apron pleat hips, apron pleat length. Okay, so we're going to add those other cases. I guess we're getting complicated enough here to, okay. Okay, and I'm going to move focused field next to validating text field. It's probably utility, right? Nope. View. Okay. Okay, that part seems okay. All right, now let's make sure nobody's complaining. Oh, yeah. Let's save that for later, but that does sound nice. Yeah, there's no reason validating text field can't take that. Okay. We'll do it this way for to get it through, and then come back to that generic approach, because I like the idea of that. It seems odd that it's a global context kind of thing, and really each individual page or form has its own context. So, all right. So we rename and move focused field to to the view folder. All right, but I think we're not using it right now, right? I mean, something's weird. Measurement table, where are you? Focused field. We pass it in. What does it do with it? Oh, do we pass it in? We don't. Oh, wait a minute. Now I'm really confused. Who uses this? Right. Okay, we got to put it on the end. Waist, hips, length. Now, where did that... Where's the keyboard come in? I wish I had a better memory. Focused field. That's on the view. Right, this thing. Oh, gosh. Okay. I don't want to duplicate this. So that means that it's got to be its own thing. And we have to use the placement keyboard. We'll still have to use that. Focused field want to be passed in. Okay. Yeah, let's take a break. We'll come back. We'll extract this to its own tiny little view. It's like the keyboard edition, and it's got to be able to pass these two things in as bindings and then call it in the context of a toolbar. I don't think we can... I don't know if we can add on a toolbar. Let me just take a peek at what that is. Is it one of those, what do they call those view modifier things? View modifier. There's a view extension. Okay. Let's... Right. Okay. Let's take that break. 3 or 4 minutes. And we'll come back and tackle a better way of doing this. All right. See you. All right. Welcome back. Let's see. We got some sort of syntax error going on here. Can't convert focus field question mark to focus state focused field dot binding. Use wrapper instead. So maybe I'm just supposed to use my $sign here. Yeah. Okay. And same thing here. And one more. Okay. Before we start extracting, let's make sure we're in a running state. Okay, so Pleat view, the deal is you've got all these validating text fields that we've got, and then you need a toolbar on the end of it. So let's see what it's on the end of what. On the end of the list, we have a toolbar. Okay, that's fine. I think you can kind of put it anywhere, maybe, but that contains the toolbar item for the keyboard, and it's got our stuff added in, a done button and a slash button. Okay, and the slash, it just sets the value. Okay, which is implicit. Well, it's stored somewhere up here. Slash is pressed. Okay. All right. So the tool I want to try for this is a view, and so it makes me think of view modifier. I just looked up the official protocol for that. So what happens is you want to do something to a view. Like here they're saying, I want to take some content and set its font this way and pad it and put a rectangle around it and color it or whatever. Okay. And you create this view modifier that knows how to take content and turn it into a view. All right. And you could do it directly, but usually you do this, you extend it with the view with a function so that you can just call view.bordered caption and it returns that thing. Okay. So it looks like this, bordered caption. So I think what we want to say in our case is like fraction toolbar and have that work. Okay. So we need to extract out a view modifier. Now I think this is going to be more of a copy paste than a real tool extract. Yeah, I don't think we can extract that by itself. Okay, but we will do it. So let's make a struct. I guess I'll put it down here. And we'll move this over somewhere else momentarily. Okay, so the struct, and this is, I think, like I said, FractionKeyboard has to be a view modifier. And that means we have to define a body for a given content. Okay. So we can just start by returning content. And then we're going to extend view with a function FractionKeyboard. What's it going to do to take? Oh, just return some view. Okay. And it does this by calling FractionKeyboard. Right. Modifier of that. Okay. I think is what we're saying. Okay, modifier is built in. Yeah. Okay, because you could say you could just say, instead of saying something that bordered caption, you could say downtown bus dot modifier of capital bordered caption, and it would be the same thing. So it gives us that. And then I think we could call, right now it's not doing anything, FractionKeyboard. It should be a null kind of transformation. So let's just run it and make sure the structure's all kind of together. Okay, and it's actually pleats where we really use this. Okay, so if I click, I get this with done and that. All right, so that's good. 5/8. Okay. And if I click outside, okay. Done. All right. So no harm, but now I want all this. Which I think goes to here. Might be missing one. Okay, yeah, so the two things we're missing is focused field and slash is pressed. Okay, now we did the binding for this before. Well, yeah, we need a binding. So what's the example that used this? Okay, let's find tartan view. Right, so they take those, focus field is focus state dot binding. Okay, so that's going to be declared where? Yeah, I'm not 100% sure this will work. Down here. Okay, they're going to need this. Okay, so now it should be asking me to pass those in. Okay. Focus field is nil. Okay. I feel like something's funny. Is this gonna work? The binding should be okay, right? FractionKeyboard needs to pass them, yeah. Okay, we'll insert those. Binding a bool. And focused field. Focus field up binding. I think that's right. This becomes slash is pressed. This becomes focused field. Okay, so we'll pass them in up there. Now somebody should be complaining up here. Right. And this one is focused field. Because he's already a binding, I think. Oh, he's not happy. Insert dollar. Okay. Okay, now I don't know how I make a binding out of a focus state, though. Is that going to work? No cannot be assigned to state. Wrapped value. Okay, maybe we gotta say wrapped value. Okay, and then this should go away. I don't think I do, because in the focus state stuff, when you set it to nil, it undoes the focus for anybody. So that should take care of it. I don't know. It's unfortunate in a way, but it is the way they manage the focus stuff. So if you set it to nil, like our done button sets it to nil, that tells it to send away the keyboard. Okay. And I think if you tap the background, no, it doesn't do that. You got to do the none. Okay, the done. All right, now let's see if this still works. No, I've still got a red bar. Focus state, focus field dot binding to binding. You'd think it would be okay. So is it really binding of that? No, I've confused it up here. Oh. Okay, he's already a binding, so he doesn't need that. Is that the... Can I convert value of focus field question mark? Oh. Maybe. All right. Cannot convert focused field question mark to binding. Yeah, that seems like it would need the dollar sign. Cannot convert focused state focus field dot binding to expected type binding of that. Well, that this dot binding. This focus state thing is just a little different than the normal binding, so cannot convert the binding to expected argument type binding of. Is it a state? Okay, the next problem I'm getting is the struct is like when you do Swift UI, it's got all those structs, but they don't keep their data. If it's changeable data, they don't keep it in the struct. The view system actually manages it, and binding it knows it's got to keep it, it's referencing something somewhere else. But this is not I'm not sure the relationship between a thing that's a dot binding, anything that's a binding of that. Okay, I guess. Maybe I'm not doing it right from the top somehow. This seems right to me that I would say slash pressed focused field. Okay, but it's a focus state. That's the problem. Is there a focus binding? Okay, let's find some focus state examples. Swift UI pass focus state as a binding to a view. I don't know if that's too specific. Okay, I've clearly been here before. How do I pass the focused field here? You pass its binding. Okay. And then this, see, they do just a var binding. Well, why didn't that work? So field.binding when you pass it. Okay, there's focus state. And then did they view to, they do pass the dollar sign in. Okay, so focus state up there is going to need a dollar sign here. And then down here, this is focus. Okay. Focus state view dot field dot binding. Yeah. It wasn't view one dot field. It's the enum. Well, that's focused field for us. Okay. Well, then I guess I must need to pass this back in here. Is what they show, right? So is the view var focused of focus state of view dot binding. Okay. Wrap value, yeah, we gotta work that out. Well, nothing's complaining. I guess we were just a little inconsistent somewhere. Or it hasn't finished compiling. Yeah, it's a little less clear to me where focus state is. Oops. It's treated differently. FractionKeyboard. Oh, that should be a new line. Okay. Let's run tests. Yeah, and getting back to your thing about generic, right? This focused field here is, it was that views type. All right, so when I click in here, I should get a keyboard. 2/8. Done. Not focused anywhere. Excuse me. Okay, but the good news is now this chunk is very portable. Okay, so let's make a FractionKeyboard down in our views section. Oh. This should be Swift UI for us. Okay, so we have the view modifier with focused field for now. Let's make sure this formatting is a little weird. Oh, I guess the way content.toolbar. Okay. All right. So this now should be doable. Well, this can come out. Okay, so we need these two states in our measurement table. Pretty sure we have them already. Okay, focus state. All right, we'll take these out, I think. Okay, and then on some high level thing, $FractionKeyboard $/ and $focused field. Okay. Right, but now we want an apron pleat view. Oh yeah, okay, 5/8 done. 2.5 and 55. Okay, it's a little long. Okay. Yeah, it's a little weird. Like, this formatter, right? I mean, this 4/8 thing, but, and then this is rounded, 5/8 rounded up to 3/4, because we only do the ideal to a 1/4 inch. Okay, but I think we've made a major breakthrough in the keyboard business. Okay. Why Xcode is having these problems, I don't know, but that's okay. Make sure tests are good. Can I make the FractionKeyboard struct private? Oh, I don't know. That's an idea. Nobody needs it. Okay, let's check this in. Make FractionKeyboard work on ApronPleat view. I don't think there's a reason I couldn't. All right. I left it. FractionKeyboard. Okay. So this becomes file private. That uses it there. All right. Okay, yeah. Oops, private. Oh, prefer private? Okay. I don't think it really matters, but I guess it's the minimum we can do. Okay, and run. That is funny, isn't it? Huh. Clearly this thing sees it. It makes me think I don't understand the details of like private versus file private very well. All these places, you know, there are a lot of places in Swift where I can kind of muddle through on the fact that I've, you know, used 87,000 other languages and they mostly kind of work the same, but then once in a while you find these things where the details really matter to you. Okay, so next thing I want to do, let's see, what are we on to-do list planned? Accept fractions on measurements. Okay, I think that's coming along. Made a FractionKeyboard view modifier by your. Okay. Now I want to go back to this focused field thing. We'll find a better way to say that. But so the issue now is we've got this focused field, but it knows the global set of fields, which seems really, really off. Okay, so what is it doing? I mean, I guess what we're saying we want to do. We're saying we want to make this parameter, this type come in as a parameter here, I guess. And then carry through to here so it's not tied to this focused field global. All right, and let me just look at ApronPleat view. So I guess to measurement table. So the deal is these These apply. So when you click in it, this basically says if you click in this field, make focus field equal to apron pleat waist. Okay, so we should be able to well, let's pull this focused field back. All right, I'm going to make my own and then carry through the consequences and see what happens. All right, so it's the enum, and I certainly don't need these three. Okay, so let's make this apron pleat focus. Waist, hips. I don't know. I almost want to say field just to kind of keep it all clear. Where are you focused? I'm focused on the waist field. That sounds right to me. Okay. And oh, well, this isn't even apron pleat. It really is down on measurement. And let's make this one file private. Okay, and this is just measurement focus, waist field, hips field, length field. Okay, those sound believable to me. Now, focused field, where's that thing? Well, let's change that to a measurement focus. Now, people should be complaining. There we go. This one is the waist field. This one is the hips field. And the length field. Okay, and this is going to complain because it's got the wrong type. So FractionKeyboard. And this is going to be a I'll call it focus. I don't know. They don't like capital words very much. And this becomes focus. And then the called thing has also got to be on this, and then this goes to focus. And interestingly, he never looks at any of the values. He's only going to set it to nil. Requires a contextual type. Maybe this isn't doable. Focus of hashable. Okay, good. All right. Now that should be okay for hours, or for measurement table, once it catches up. All right, but it's not so good for, what's the other one? Well, maybe it is okay for these other ones. Prefer private? Okay. Well, it's implying it doesn't mind. Okay. It's a little... Oh, maybe I gotta make this a form instead of a grid. But that's minor. I mean, there's a little sliding, but okay. But if I say done, I can go to pleats. Do you still work? Okay. All right. Now let's undo the... Wait, where are you? Wait, shape. I think I'm gonna let that go. That was in that weird when I just had one. Result can't be determined. Yeah. We'll save that. I'm not going to get stuck on it. Shoot, I didn't have a chance to ask about this question. How do you deal with the hip versus waist? I'm pretty sure the answer is they just go back through and recalculate the waist by dividing it out. We probably could find a way to do that if I can make it clear what's going on. Okay. But we're getting the right stuff, and when it stops, it's fine. So let's pull this guy back. We don't need these because we don't use them. And then let's find who's using this. It's probably pleat view. Pleat count view. Okay. Pleat count view. Okay, and this is, what do we call it? In measurement table. Measurement focus, okay, yeah, I can call it pleat count focus. Okay. All right. Move focused field back into pleat count view. All right. Well, the hoops you go through are still a bit much. But, well, I'm pretty happy with that view modifier. I don't use those enough. That was nice. All right. Move this comment up a little bit. Okay. So that's fine. In text field, we trust that now. Okay. Okay. The thing I was still concerned on here, I'd like this to... I'd really like it to say 5 inches, but I'd like it to be blanked out and not a question mark. Let's see, so apron pleat view, I guess measurement table is probably doing it, right? Optional quarters, yeah. Okay, so I'm just gonna make this view be empty, and then this one, I'm gonna put the inch marker on there. Inches. Okay. All right. Make ideal values show up as empty. If field is blank, and add inch to end of each ideal value. Okay. All right, well, this one turned into make a toolbar modifier, view modifier. That brings up the fraction keyboard. Yeah. Okay. Tweak output for ideal values. Okay. Okay. So let's see, what took a half an hour? I'd like this keep scenario and send hip info. I think that's the one we should do. Now I don't remember. We got these things in navigation stacks, right? Where's that stack kept? Oh, I don't remember how this stuff works. So I think there's some way to switch to the other view programmatically with this navigation stack. I think there's just like an array of views or something. Swift. There was a WWDC video, and I know I watched it at some point. Navigation stack. Yeah, probably they'll have an example there, I hope. It's always a little short on examples. Navigation destination for park.self. What does that mean? Let's act as a root view. Selecting a navigation link from the list adds a park view to view. Okay, yeah, that's kind of... Yeah, this is what I was thinking of. You can declare a variable of... I don't know what park is, though. Is it a view? Yeah. Well, and also the tabs stack from one kind of view. See, these correspond to our tabs, I think. Maybe I shouldn't even be using navigation state here. I don't know. I guess I want to find a better example. Okay, here's a nice, promising article. The old way, full of woe. Okay. iOS 16. You replace navigation view with navigation stack. Oh, okay. And you'd use navigation link to go there. Is that what that means? Navigation link tab. Okay. It's usually master detail. That's not what we want to do here. Okay. Let's see what I got to do. Maybe it's the content view can control this. Tab view. Oh, well, there it is. Yeah, I've got top level tabs sitting there in app storage. Okay. Yeah, so I think I can either pass this in or access it. Can I just declare it again? I'm not sure, but all right, but we'll have some way. All right, then the other question I had was, is this grid row stuff supporting us correctly here? And I don't know the answer. And this actual ideal thing looks like I want it to, but these guys aren't just quite lined up right. And it's because they're not in a form per se. But I don't know if I can, I don't know. Give each tab a tag. Yeah, we did. Up here we've got this. So yeah, I think this is doable. I'm just not sure how a subclass gets to an app storage. And pull out my handy book that I wrote to remind myself all this stuff. Okay, but I don't think I did a lot with app storage. I know I looked at it. Okay, environments. App storage value gets filled in. So it's kind of the user default type stuff. Let me see if I can find this page for you all as well. This one, I think. There. Okay, so app storage, you got a var equals value. It fills it in, but I don't know how I want to use. Okay, it doesn't tell me how to pass it around if I can. I don't want to redeclare it every time. It still exists the same one. Right, but I got to do the same or inject it. In the environment. App storage text. Oh, this is all. Boof. Environment custom text. Yeah, it's a lot of work for what we're getting there. I notice they don't try and pass it as a binding. Let's see if anybody else tries that. How to access it. Well, okay. Okay, so you're creating your own key and then you're setting that up. Yeah, not gonna do this. Not synchronized with one view and two models. Yeah, and there's some. I think there's potential lag with app storage because it may not, it needs a little time to write things out. So other views might not pick it up right away if they were reloading from that. Okay, only in start. Well, I don't think that's really answering things. This is a simple navigation. Okay, well, I don't necessarily. So we're requiring them to move this value to the other screen, basically. Ideal hip. Okay, yeah, I really would like that to go. Yeah, I mean, that may be the way to do it. So environment lets us inject it. Yeah, that does make sense. Yeah, you're right. Environment lets us inject it at a high level, and then any view anywhere in the hierarchy can just ask for it. So you don't have to actually pass it explicitly. So let's try that. Key path. Now That's not going to be right. Is that it? Oh, slash dot. I always get this format. No, it's dot slash to get to key path. Okay, I'm going to have to find an example. No, that's not the one I want. I want the other one. There's a modifier. There it is. A key path indicates the property of the environment values structure. But this is my key. Well, it's not really a binding there, is it? Yeah, this is what that other example did. Using state instead of app storage. Right, but we don't want state because we do want it in app storage because we want to get on the same tab we left off. All right. Oh, I don't know if I'm just fighting it. No, we saw another one. Okay, one of these, or I just hit the road on it. And you can send it from one to another using bindings. Oh, this is kind of what we... App storage text, private text. Okay. And then body, pass environment, custom text gets $text. Okay. State is faster. Yeah. So state is basically local in-memory stuff. App storage says write it to user defaults. Okay. And the reason we did that is because we wanted, when we quit the application, we'd like to show up in the same tab we left off in. So that's why we're using app storage, because that keeps track of the selected tab. And actually, it would kind of be nice if we kept track of these fields they've gone to the trouble of typing in as well, or whatever they've entered in their text. You know, it would be kind of nice too. But so what I want to do is put a button in here. Yeah. Well, if I can do this environment thing, that's not, it's it's a little annoying, but it's doable. Now, if we can just use a binding on app storage and pass it around, maybe that's good enough. All right, so let's put the button in and then see what happens. We only got a few minutes, so okay. We're looking for the splits view. Set the view, no. Okay. Split. Scenario split. Scenario view. Okay. All right, so I guess down at the bottom, got the slider, we got the warnings. All right. If there's no, well, even if there are warnings, we got to be able to edit it. Okay, so this is a button. Well, that, no. I don't know. I want to say go to pleats. Let's find this little thing. Okay, and then the action is go to pleats. All right, let's just see how we're looking here. Speed myself up a little if I turn this off. Okay. Does that say it? Well, I think I want it right justified. Okay. But that'll just print. Okay. So we want to get this environment variable here. Default value, where's that getting used? Custom text. App storage text. Oh, that's the binding to it. Okay, that kind of makes sense. It's just annoying to have to do all this stuff. But annoying is whatever. It's a little overhead up here is all. Okay, so this is... Well, let's call it the current tab key. All right, and then this can be current tab is a binding to top level tab. Self custom key.text equals that. I guess that's generic. Okay, we have app storage. Now we need environment. Passing that. Okay. On, well, we can do it on the top view. And it's not custom text, it's current tab. It's not $text, it's $top level tab. Okay, nobody should complain about that. Okay. Command failed. That is really unhelpful. Where's content view? Okay. Current tab key is the environment key. Binding of okay, that's more like it. Binding of string. You can see that original error message was not so helpful. Constant. Okay, now in Apron's Pleat view, where's our button? I guess it's in scenario view. Okay, to pull it out of the environment, we just have to use this add environment thing. Okay. And we have to remember what we called it, which it's apparently beyond me. Var current tab of binding of top level tab. Okay. And let's just print this for now. I think we can get a default print for it. Now the other thing we don't have going for us is the hip field. We don't have anywhere to put the information. Go to pleats. Okay, and we printed go to pleats from binding of top level tab, blah blah blah, apron pleat. Okay, so that's our current tab. All right, so this current tab equals dot mail top level tab dot pleats. Oh, current tab is a get only property. Oh, this should be binding. It is binding. Cannot assign to current tab as a get only property. Cannot assign current tab dot wrapped value. Constant pointer to a variable object kind of thing, I think. Okay, well, yeah, so where's it going to get the ideal hip value? Autograph sexual, that's not good. Oh, okay, this is complaining about the keyboard stuff, yeah. But this may not be. Okay, let's run it again. Yeah, the keyboard I can live with. I don't like this. Means something's not really right at all. Crash is pointing at text, he'll become first responder. Oh. Interesting, maybe. Maybe we need to worry about that. Well, no, we're not focused on... I was worried we were on focus state issue, but... Okay. Well, I guess I'm going to leave this on my wish list. I'm going to take the code out here. Take out that environment code. I don't know. We're close to something. And I guess I got to take out all this junk here. Now junk. It'll be real again someday. Okay. Okay, so that's gone. Okay, so I guess the result was fix format, delete blank line. I think that's the only difference here. Yeah. Okay. Push that. All right. We just have a couple minutes left for this week. I got to update my calendar, but I'm not here tomorrow or Thursday. And then next week, I'm getting home Monday afternoon too late, but I'll be here Tuesday, probably just for a day. I'll probably just do some random thing. I'm not sure what. If I haven't wrapped this up to send it to others, maybe we'll do a little more on this. I've got other little projects that maybe I'll just do some of those. So it may be a short and boring week next week. I don't know. Okay, so what I want to do in the few minutes we have left is I stole my wife's book. Let's see if I can. So in the back somewhere, Appendix B, it's got examples. And I just want to put in some of these examples and see if we can get something like they do. Okay, so they recommend 10.5 apron. 10.5 apron and 13 inch at the hips. Pleats should be bigger than apron at waist. I think that message is wrong, and pleats should be bigger than apron at waist. Pleats, is only 9.5. Okay, so I'm surprised we're getting a message then. They are at the hips. I don't know. It's like it wants us to do this. Okay. Well, that's one example. All right, let's do the next one. 23.5 versus 25.75. Okay, they recommend 12 and 12.75. Pleat should be bigger than apron at waist. Pleats should be bigger than apron at waist. I'm wondering if that rule is just not right. Pleat should be bigger than apron at waist. Okay, next one. 23.5 by 31.5. All right, and they recommend 12.75. And 15.25. Are the views modals or sheets? Neither one. I'm pretty sure let's see, pleat view. Pretty sure it's a tab view like the others. Well, he's got navigation view. Where is his tab then? Oh, this is the tab view. Okay, he doesn't care what he's got inside. All right. Yeah, so they're not sheets. They're just plain views. Navigation view is a list of stuff. It does have a sheet, or some of these do have sheets, but None of this. Okay. Let me continue examples here. 20. Well, we're getting a warning. So every one of these is generating a warning. So it makes me wonder if I've misinterpreted something. 24.5 by 31.5. Oh, we just did that one. 26 and 40. Okay, so here we have somebody with a big difference between hip and waist. All right, so 26 and 40. They said, why don't we do 14.5 in the apron and 19 inches in the pleats. Prefer at most 4 inches. All right, this was example 9. Example 9 shows a kilt with 2 inches, 1.5 to 2.25 inches more in the pleats than the apron. Each is for a woman with a large waist hip differential, a little extra pleats at the hips. Helps reduce the apron shaping and helps the kit fit more smoothly around the buttocks. So they recommend the pleats are always less than the apron at the waist. Well, that's what I'm... That's what I understood. Maybe I'll go back through these because every single example is getting a warning, so that's not a good sign. The 4 inches thing, I think it's like that one, like you got a 14-inch difference. Even at half of that, that's a 7-inch difference, and it's just going to be tough to overcome. She does have... The pleats are always less than the apron at the waist. Yeah, that seems what they seem to be recommending. Let me look at these other or examples. So the pleats less than the apron. No, they recommend the pleat is bigger than the apron. I mean, normally your pleats are bigger because you're... But in this case, they said it was a large buttocked woman, I guess. Normally you want the pleats bigger than the hips. Bigger than the apron, unless you really got somebody with a prominent stomach, and then you need to, provide them more fabric to cover their stomach. All right, so pleat bigger than apron at waist. So we expect the pleat column to be bigger. It's shorter, equal, equal. Okay, so in these examples, I don't know, 20 or 30 examples, whatever, 28 examples, less. I'm beginning to think that rule is not the right rule. Okay. Every example is less than or equal. So I've got something backwards, apparently. Pleats should be less than the apron. Should be less than the apron at the waist, apparently, is the rule. Yeah, it does seem a little weird. Yeah, usually the pleats at the hips, the pleats are usually bigger than the apron. Every example I'm seeing here has that true. Pleats should be bigger than apron at hips. Yeah, that's usually the case. What was this one? 26 and 40. 19. Oh, I got them backwards on there. This should be 19, 14.5, and 19. Okay, yeah, the pleats are bigger than the hips, or bigger than the apron at the hips. And this is 11.5 and 14.5. Pleats should be bigger than apron at waist. I'm surprised that's not true, because now we have a lot of contrast here. I don't know. I'll go back and check the rules. All right. Well, it gives us something to do. Maybe next time that's what we'll do. If just a random day, Tuesday next week. I've only got the one session, so it'll either be that or I have some design pattern stuff that needs some cleanup, and we may look at that at some point. But thanks for joining today. Thanks for all the help to get this far. I mean, this is episode 51, so we're doing a couple and a half hours a day or a work day. So it's been it's been more than a work week's worth of stuff, maybe three work weeks or more. All right, but I'm happy with what we have. My one user is in love with it, which always feels good, and we're going to work towards getting that into other people's hands and hopefully published into real use. I don't think I can charge for anything like this. That's like there's probably 27 people in the world that want it. So, but we'll see. At least as long as there's at least one. All right. Well, thanks for joining, and have a good week and weekend yourself. Like I said, I'll be back Tuesday for one session, and we'll go from there. All right. Thanks again. Bye-bye.